Thank you so much, guys. Question for you. You guys have been working together for 12 years. How do you guys challenge yourself? How do you guys make things different for yourselves in doing the event?
Oh, wow. You know,
it's the mentality of how we approach the event. I mean, when we brought back Halloween Horror Nights in 2006, it was a baby step. I mean, it was 7 nights, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it was 2 mazes, and one of them was a maze that was our year-round maze. So as the event has grown, we always kind of have this mantra of saying it's 2006. Every year, we always kind of go into the event thinking that we have to make our mark. So we kind of treat it mentally that way.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, for myself, I've always got like a mental filing cabinet open, just trying to gather any inspiration that, honestly, that I see out just out in the world, actually, to help push it forward. And really what that boils down to, and I know he's a lot like that too, is just passion. And it's just really passion for this. I mean, like, at home, I'll video commercials that have something on there that I think that I go and show him that maybe we can pull that off in some way that is a practical effect in a commercial or something. So yeah, we're always looking for something to push it to the next level.
Just not being satisfied with success.
No, absolutely.
That the time for that is when we're done. You know, while we're in it, we always want to push it, push it as far as we can take it.
Awesome. Now, last year when we talked, you had mentioned that Exorcist is the scariest movie for you growing up.
Yeah, it is.
How about you? Did you do the same?
No, absolutely it was. Yeah, growing up around the same age as him. Sure. Yes. Oh no. And he.
The Shining was also one that was terrifying for me as a kid.
Yes, as well. But no, I had a big religious background growing up.
Sure.
So that really affected me in that way. Actually, that really was terrifying. You know, so. That's what we were really trying to deliver.
I can remember
here.
when the trailer for Shining came out in 1980. I wasn't old enough to see it in the theater. Did you sneak in?
I saw it in the theater when they were playing the original Prom Night.
Okay.
And so before Prom Night,
was it a double bill with Prom Night?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
It was like, just the trailer, and I remember seeing the trailer. It was the elevator and the blood.
Yeah.
And I was like, What is
I read the book.
Yeah, I didn't. So I was like, what? It was really, I mean, very freaky with all this blood and elevator, and, you know, back in the 80s and such too. Yeah, very impactful.
2 more questions for you. One being, you had mentioned in the panel today that in the 80s movies were a slow burn for horror films.
Yeah.
How has that changed over the course of, say, 30 years?
Younger people don't have the attention span to watch those movies.
Yes.
It's. I mean, I've literally, there's been people I've recommended, like, you know, not just horror movies. Like, I remember recommending The Godfather to somebody and gave them the DVD, and they gave it back to me and they said, "Oh, just can watch it." And I'm like, "Well, how far did you get?" And they're like, "The wedding." Yeah. I'm like, "You didn't get past the first scene." But you know, The Exorcist is very much that way. It starts off in Iraq. It's like 20 minutes before that section ends. The Shining is a slow burn. The movies, the style of editing, a lot of times that's referred to like the MTV generation of editing, where everything turned into quick cuts. Now you have the jump scares. A horror movie isn't going to go much past the first 15 minutes without a jump scare these days. So it's, in some ways, movies like The Shining are a little bit of a lost art form.
Absolutely.
But and it's challenging because in a maze where it is jump scares, you know, that's the very nature of what a haunted house is. But you still hope you get in that feeling that Chris mentioned during the panel, that suspense and dread. You still want to, you know, start that up. Our particular maze, you don't get to the first scare. It's like a couple of scenes before you get to it. We are trying to start it off a little bit more like a slow burn.
Within a 5-minute experience, you know?
Which is going to be the first 20 seconds. It's tough. But we are trying to take a nod from the film and be true to what Kubrick did in the film.
Awesome. Last question for you guys. Ash vs. Evil Dead. How do you balance a horror film or a horror maze with a comedic maze?
Yeah, it's tough.
This is the end.
Yeah, it's very tough to do that. Luckily, you have, you know, Bruce Campbell, and particularly the writing is so funny in Ash vs. Evil Dead. So there's, you know, we're able to get all the production audio and use it how we want to use it in the maze. So a lot of the humor is going to come from those lines where when you have Ash coming out and doing something, there's always like a punchline that follows it. So we're trying to hit all those punchlines, and we're trying to get all the visual cues that fans of both the television series and the whole Evil Dead franchise will get when they go through the maze. They'll be like, oh, that's, you know,
Awesome.
the Jacksonville postcard, or you know,
Yes.
all of the Eli,
Eli,
his lizard that, you know, you're going to see him in his trailer, but then when he moved out of his house, nobody ever fed Eli and he died, or his previous lizard, I think, and so you'll see that too. So we put in all these little prop touches into the maze to hopefully, you know, ring that bell for the fans of the series.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate
Pleasure.
it. Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care.